KXAN has learned as of today, 39 employees at the Austin Police Department have tested positive for COVID-19 since the pandemic began.
Austin police are not giving any information about those cases, but Austin's police union president told KXAN's Jacqueline Powell he thinks the department saw a spike after officers worked protests.
In late June, APD told us 6 of its officers and 2 civilian employees had tested positive for COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. 2 weeks later, APD's reporting 16 more officers and 15 more civilian employees have tested positive for the virus. It's not clear if that was a spike. What is clear, the increase is putting a strain on staffing.
We have a lot of officers that are coming down with COVID and are now out. And so, we're having to redeploy and figure out how we're going to fill those vacancies, especially if they're occurring on patrol.
After the first 2 weekends of large demonstrations in downtown Austin in late May and early June, Austin Public Health encouraged protesters to get tested, but said it couldn't yet correlate protests to any kind of surge in positive coronavirus cases.
None of the cases that we're seeing right now are related to protests.
But Austin Police Association President Ken Cassidy believes the spike he's seen among officers since protests began tells otherwise.
We're not buying into that. Had nothing to do with the uptick in COVID in the city. There's lots of other reasons, people not following their social distancing, but for them to say that the protest had nothing to do with the uptick in COVID is disingenuous at best.
Austin Public Health responded, saying health officials have warned that large gatherings pose a higher risk for spreading COVID-19, but APH says with the current level of community transmission, it isn't possible to determine exactly where anyone contracted the virus. Jacqueline Powell, KXAN News.
We've asked APD to clarify how many officers who worked protests tested positive for the virus and for a timeline of when they got their results. We haven't heard back yet.